peach tree is looking wonderful. The one that we actually originally had planted here never came out of dormancy. As you can see, this was it. But the wonderful thing about this company I've shared with you guys before is they have a 1-year guarantee warranty on their plants. And so I just emailed them and was like, hey, my plant is not coming out of dormancy. Here's all the evidence, here's the pictures, here's what I did to, you know, put it in the ground, to water it, fertilize it, all of the above. And they were like, yep, sounds good, we'll send you a new one. And they actually sent me a more expensive one, a bigger one, because they didn't have what I had to replace. And so they're amazing. If you're looking for shrubs or berry bushes, like we have blueberry bushes, they have other annuals and perennials depending on where you're growing. We are in zone 5 here in eastern Iowa. And these peach trees, I want to say they were zone 4. It doesn't say on the tag. I don't remember what they were, but they're the Reliance peach tree. It's looking good though. But I will say the other day, I was over here dredging the soil, making sure it's plenty wet for the roots to get established after being transferred. And I noticed, if you've been here long enough, you know that I've done an experiment kind of in this bed. I did some co-planting between the peonies, which, as if you grow peonies, you know that they're only beautiful for so long, but then the foliage lasts the rest of the summer, not the flowers. And I grew garlic in here because, well, I didn't want to leave it at our old house when we moved. And so I harvested it and I said, well, I'm taking this with me. And so I brought it with me and I just stuck it in a flower bed that I had because we didn't have a garden. I mean, the backyard was overgrown and shrubby and really gross. And so I threw them in here. I planted them, they grew, and I decided to leave a couple to see what would happen. And while I was checking them out, I noticed that scapes were starting to form. Hey, little guy. He's thinking it's not nighttime yet, put me back. Scapes were forming, as you can see. Whoa. Right there. But, oh, I'm so distracted. Look at the cute little mushroom. I can't remember what that variety's called, but I do believe I found them in our yard before, and if you cut them open, the fly was biting me and I couldn't reach it. If you cut them open and they stain blue, that was the evidence of being whatever variety there. I noticed that my garlic had scapes, and so what I have to do today, besides pack for our vacation, is harvest my scapes, because if I don't harvest them now, they're gonna be so far gone. If you don't harvest your scapes, you will essentially develop a allium looking flowers, like that purple flower. I'll put a picture up here. And when that happens, the center of the garlic bulb, which is what we typically harvest as people that want to consume garlic, will just become hardy, like almost too woody. It just starts to continue its cycle of life, you could say. You know, garlic isn't grown just to feed you, but it's also grown to survive. And so we as gardeners like to harvest that so that we can let it grow just a little bit more, let the bulbs get a little bigger, and then harvest the bulbs to consume. All right, I did forget to finish my thought there, but the garlic that is here was actually not planted last fall. And I think I'm gonna do the same thing again. I might just let these ones stay in the soil because they give me garlic scapes at least. So, I mean, I'm harvesting something, but essentially that whole head of garlic in there will multiply and, you know, grow more garlic next year. I'm kind of intrigued by these because they don't have any garlic scapes on them. And I wonder if it was a lack of sunlight, would be my guess. But again, it's an experiment, so I'm just gonna let them do their thing. But don't worry, we have more garlic over here to go harvest. I have not been given any time to my worm bins here. I decided this year I wasn't going to buy any more worms, even though the ones I had all died. I was just gonna let the cocoons take off and let the worms do their things, the new worms do their things in here. However, I have not been maintaining them. Usually I come out here and I'll, you know, get rid of the extra leachate, which is the liquid that essentially filters through the bottom of this top tub. But I need more for those tubs. So I thought, well, I'm gonna use these as midsummer fertilization, and then I'll leave this tub and continue collecting worms so that I can collect their cocoons for the winter. And then if I need to, I'm just gonna buy more red wrigglers next spring and just start my worm farm all over again. It's really not that big of an investment, and worms are fairly cheap by the thousands, but the prices are going up the last I checked. My beautiful cold frames here. I've got my next round of radishes and hostas that came through the soil. Which, I mean, hostas are technically edible. You could eat them, but I think you're supposed to eat them when they're really young and coiled up. Apparently they taste like asparagus. One of these years I'll try it. So anyways, I've got more radishes here. I don't know how well these are gonna do over here. They don't get a ton of sunlight. It was worth a try. These I'm excited for this fall though, because that means I can continue growing more like spinach and arugula, just some greens through the winter, because I can come out here and harvest them. The hollyhocks, they're starting to come up. Lots of flowers. These actually re-sowed last year. I did not plant these, so either re-sowed or a bird dropped them. My original plan here was to cover this area in wildflowers, which I did scatter some. I didn't clean up the leaves, and obviously if you scatter seeds on leaves, if they don't get to soil, they're not going to germinate and grow. And so I'm sure that's probably what happened. But I do have a bunch of zinnias that I want to throw out, but I'm going to do that when we get back from vacation, because I don't want to run the risk of not having enough water for them to germinate and grow. But this area, she's coming along. She's coming along. I need to get out here and weed and mulch, but this year has just, it's been moving so fast, and now we're about to be gone for 2 weeks for vacation. And so, man, I am humbly reminded of how difficult it is to do anything with an infant, especially one that I can't share online with you guys. The days are, what do they say? The days are long, but the years are short. Well, right now, the hours are long and the season quite short, because it is going by very fast. Looking for garlic scapes feels like foraging to me, because you're looking in this mass of greenness for something that's like slightly off green and curly. Some of these weren't necessarily at my peak harvest preference. Oh, see, you guys see it? You see the scape? There it is, right here, slightly off green and curly. But I know it's like, usually you want to wait until the scapes are like making a full circle. Let's see if I can find one. No, there's some. Here we go. So like this guy, he's making a full circle. I'm not, contorting it in any way. And that's typically when you would want to harvest them. Obviously, you don't really want to harvest. Like, I've got some young ones in here that weren't in full circles like this. But I know if I let this go for another 2 weeks, it could get really far along. And I don't have a ton of garlic. Obviously, I have like maybe 8 square feet here of garlic. And, harvesting 2 or 3 later when they're my preferred harvesting size. Sorry, I'm distracted. I just found that I missed another one right here. It just doesn't make sense to me, because if I'm gonna eat it, I would rather just harvest all of them at once. Plus, I think what I'm gonna do, what did I just cut? Because apparently I didn't cut the scape. I think what I'm gonna do is actually chop them up and pickle them. I haven't pickled them before. Usually I just saute them in butter and garlic and add them to steak or burgers. And my word, they're good. But we're gonna try something different this year. You only get to harvest 1 round of scapes, so you gotta be picky on what you're gonna do with them. My mom called me earlier and said, hey, we're headed up to Christopher, my nephew's soccer game, and we wanted to know if Silas wanted to go with us. And I was like, is this even a question? So I need to get inside. I'm gonna get these prepped. I'm gonna pickle them. I'll show you guys a little bit of that. But I need to make sure that Silas is ready to go. This year has been a wonderful start to the garden. I need to run some stuff down to the compost. I don't know if I was just on top of things, or, hey Baloo, you're so dirty. Did the 5-year-old get a hold of you? Get sawdust all over you? I wonder if her nest is in this bush, this hydrangea bush above us, because she is like maybe 15 feet away from me and just chirping, but so beautiful. I'm waiting for somebody to sponsor me with the bird feeder, because it's one of those old lady things that I actually love is bird watching. Like, you know that Merlin app where you can record the sound of the birds around you, and they show you what kind of bird it is and what kind of, you know, call it is. I'm just amazed by that. I realized my camera stopped recording as I was saying that I told you guys I wasn't gonna fall into the FOMO of seed starting. And I'm wondering if that's why my garden is off to such a good start, is because I didn't grow weak seeds, because I actually waited until it was appropriate to start seeds in my zone, which is zone 5. I don't know, or maybe it's just because we've had so much rain, which the gardener or the beekeepers don't like, because it knocks all the pollen and the nectar off of flowers. But as a gardener, I love it, and eventually my bees will also love it. As far as pollinators go, though, right now in mid-June, all we have in the garden are wasps, which personally I hate, but they get the job done, and they're great at eating the potato beetle larva that I've showed you guys. I don't know that I showed you guys on YouTube. If you're on our Instagram, I posted a whole thing about it, because I was like, ew, what are these things? And we don't even have potatoes. They're just all over our volunteer ground cherries and a couple other plants. But thankfully our garden's small enough, as you can see, that I have been able to pick them off. I'm also intrigued. What the heck is this? When did it start growing? I missed it. Some sort of weed. I kind of want to let it go, though. I'm curious what it is. You like my system here? This is me trying to keep my radishes away from my peppers, which are getting obnoxiously long, trying to find the sun. Just trying to set myself up for success here, you know? Anyways, I got a little bit of work left to do. I just wanted to take you guys along with me to harvest those garlic scapes. I'm excited to pickle them. I think it's gonna be delicious. You guys will have to let me know what you do with your garlic scapes, or maybe you don't do anything. Maybe this is news to you. Maybe you're adding it to a gardener's bucket list. Just not for this year. It'll have to be for next year. I'm gonna get after it. This is probably our last video before our road trip, our southern road trip video that I'm gonna share with y'all. And so stay tuned. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. And I so appreciate all of you who have been around watching these videos and commenting and interacting, because it just ups the algorithm and just reaches more people. It blesses more people. It blesses me and our family. And so thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next video. See ya.